Hi everybody, my name is Emma Flynn, psychologist. I'm just really keen to put a positive spin on what's happening out there with the coronavirus, and I thought I would put together a brief message that I'd really like to keenly share with you all, and hope that you can carry this with you in the coming weeks and months ahead. When I talk to clients about anxiety, the biggest message that I say to them is it's about our attention. What we focus on, what we give attention to, we feed essentially, like a plant. What you put in will determine how well that plant will grow. The same in any sort of form of anxiety, and particularly anything specifically related to the coronavirus at the moment. With that in mind, I would encourage everybody to learn to practice ways that will help them or you shift your attention. If you can just focus on alternatives. Mindfulness is a really effective strategy for this, and it can be done in many different forms and approaches. One of the techniques that I found personally very effective for myself and for clients that I work with in sessions is essentially focusing on our five senses. So what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and what we can touch. Hopefully I've got all those five senses. And essentially any task that we do. So if we're walking along the road, for example, it's generally a perfect opportunity where we will tend to overthink. Whereas if we can focus on our five senses as we're walking, we can essentially focus on what we're actually seeing around us. You know, who are the people that we see, who we come across. A person that smiles, we smile back, we're more connected. You know, what we smell, what are the beautiful sounds that we can hear, birds, maybe children playing in a house as we walk by. And so on and so on. And so the experience of actually walking becomes very, very different, and we're taken away from the overthinking. The same applies to coronavirus, that if we can shift that and focus on what we're actually doing and be more mindfully doing that with focus on any senses to any task that we do throughout our day, it's I guess a proven way, and it's so effective in terms of reducing our stress levels and hopefully it will improve mood and our general feel good throughout our day. So essentially, as I said, that's just one strategy that can be very, very effective during this time. And I have practiced this in particular myself, as I said, and I have seen very good success and effectiveness with this with a number of clients recently. And I guess coincidentally we've introduced that before the coronavirus. They themselves are noticing how even more helpful it is during this time. Again, with any strategy, it's not a strategy to be used in isolation or when you're highly stressed. It's important for that to be effective when you are highly stressed, to actually practice that regularly throughout your day. Some other, I guess, considerations that I would like to put out there in terms of shifting that attention, so we're not focusing on the panic and we are indeed staying calm, would be things like, you know, it's important to stay informed, but stay informed through the most appropriate and most accurate and most evidence-based or trusted sources. Check the news, but, you know, limit that. The same as, I guess, control. So in times like this, we tend to feel less control. However, we may not have a huge amount of control about coronavirus spread. We still do have some control. But what we do have control are with the things that we do when we practice throughout our day. We can still decide how we spend our day and how our day will eventuate, and that's really important. So again, shifting away from what's not within our control, but what actually is within our control is really important. It's same as planning. So whilst there are some limitations around that, we can still plan to do activities. We can still structure our day. So planning really on what we can plan for and managing that You know, we may not be able to plan too far ahead, but we can certainly plan what we're going to do throughout a day and within that week. And being flexible, that, you know, in this time, more likely things will be unexpected, and embracing, I guess, that uncertainty or unexpectedness is really, really key. That, you know, we can actually still do things, we may just need to postpone or approach them differently. A message about that would be with my own sessions with clients. I've done phone and video consults in the past, and I'm finding a higher uptake for that. And I'm finding that that's working actually really, really well. And clients themselves are actually surprised at how enjoyable that is. They may have thought that that may not have been as engaging or as enjoyable to be part of as face-to-face. However, I'm getting very positive feedback about that. So again, that message that how we normally do things will change for a period of time. However, we can still do that in a way that is actually still effective and still important. And again, with any sort of psychological support that you're engaged in, I would continue and encourage clients to continue with that. I believe that's very, very important. Also, staying connected is really important. So again, traditional ways of staying connected may not be possible. You know, we have guidelines in place at the moment where we're instructed to keep 1.5 meters apart, or you know, up to 3 meters apart. And they're all really important, as well as hygiene. However, again, as I said, we can still stay socially connected with people. We can still phone. I mean, how great is that, that maybe we can reconnect with a phone call? Generally, we tend to, you know, message or text. Even more so, somebody being able to hear your voice and making that extra effort is invaluable. The same as if people are lucky enough to have video link, whether that's FaceTime, WhatsApp, Skype, or any other good services or apps or programs that are out there, is really, really helpful. So again, that message that we can still stay connected. It's just that how we stay connected is different. Also, taking care of your body and spirit. So, you know, taking that time out, being kind to yourself. Exercise, you know, comes also under this umbrella. Exercise is really important. So again, I can imagine there's many people out there that would normally exercise by going to an exercise class or going to the gym. We can still do exercise, but we just may need to incorporate that and put that into practice very differently at home. So we may need to think about creative ways of doing that. And if you have your kids at home, or they're going to be at home obviously more frequently than they normally are, you can incorporate the kids. You know, you can easily make that fun. You know, a skipping competition. You know, who skips, you know, faster, or who does the most skips in the family. And so on. So we can be very creative around that, and it's good also for using up time, you know, all that free time that we're more likely to feel or experience. Another way is to reach out, you know, helping others. Again, I think that we could see some positive ripple effects from this, where maybe we're going to be more socially conscious and kind to people. So just thinking in terms of who lives nearby you, you know, who is more likely to need support, who maybe doesn't have family that can visit, or they live too far away. You know, putting a note in, you know, putting your number attached to that. I'm happy when, you know, I go to the shop, for example. If you need anything, I can get that for you. You know, we can sort out money and those sort of things later. And those sort of things are invaluable. Whether or not the person takes up that offer is neither here nor there. It's about the act of kindness, and also that person being very appreciative and knowing that actually people care. It's an important message to send out. And in terms of, I guess, what we've talked through today, I guess, as I said, what I wanted to do was to, again, help you practice shifting your attention. We can focus on the positive. We can learn to stay calm, and that's really, really important. And doing what's within our control, and keeping ourselves occupied in a different way is really, really key. I hope that you've liked this video. If you do want to get in touch, feel free to contact me. I am